Ever had this problem? You've arrived on site, you've filled the water barrel, you want a cup of tea and no water. Is that a difficulty with the battery? Is that a problem with the pump? Or maybe there's a fault with the microswitch. Let's have a look at those items. So here they are. We have a battery, a 12-volt battery, and we have some pumps. Some pumps because there are different types of pumps. Some of you will perhaps recognise a submersible pump that's lowered into the water container. Others might know the type of pump called a diaphragm pump, which is actually installed somewhere inside the leisure vehicle. And this one actually is already wired up. So if I were to couple this up to the battery, you can hear it going. And if there were water pipes here, it would be pumping the water through the pipes. But wait, there's a third item we need to consider, and that is a switch. I want to talk about micro switches. Micro because they're very small, and switches which are normally built into the tap assembly itself, and which sometimes go wrong. And that's where you might be able to sort things out yourself. If we come across and we look at a micro switch, because I'm sure you're dying to see one, well, indeed, it's small. Micro is small, and there it is, fitted on the end of this little assembly. It even fell off in my hand. It's that small, and that's all it is. It has on the top a tiny little pip, which is what gets depressed when the tap is operated. It is actually a switch, and like any switch, it brings cables together. Now, if you do find in your experiments that the microswitch isn't working, well then it's a case of changing it. Now, I always recommend owners to carry several of these, carry them on holiday, buy them in a packet and take them so that if you're in France, Spain, Germany, wherever, if they have a different system, at least you can get them to fit your micro switch for you if you don't want to do it yourself. But this is what is involved. As I showed you earlier, it actually has two little holes in it which sit on two little pillars here. It helps if you've previously coupled up the cables. And all that's left finally is a clip which holds it all together and attaches it firmly, and that is what's involved. Now that is very simple to do, provided you're as small as a pixie, you can see almost in the dark because it's dark underneath the sink, and if your day job is you're a contortionist in the local circus down the road. No, it's actually very difficult. And that's why the people who designed taps and systems said, can't we do this whereby the microswitch is reached on the top, like it is here? And that most certainly is the case. Now, we've established that we've got microswitches because we've seen the wires coming underneath the taps. And we've got to think, how do we get into this? Now, I don't mind telling you, I'm very honest about this. I really struggle to get in these because the way to find the screw is to prise this off. Oh, I can prise that off, but I'm not going to go any further because I've done it over here with this item, which is an identical one except it's in chrome. And you can see there how the colour knob on the top has been prized out. That reveals the small screw underneath. You undo the screw and then you don't make the mistake I made the first time. I was so pleased to get inside that whoops, this fell off, one or two other bits fell out, and it took me 20 minutes to find out where they all fitted again. So at that stage you take it carefully, slowly, you take the pieces off, you get a screwdriver, and there's the micro switch. You very, very gently prise it up with a screwdriver so it slides away. It's got the cables on the bottom. You couple up the new one with the cables and you slide it back, and everything bit by bit is reversed, and it doesn't take long to reassemble that and you're back in action with your water system.